We're recording.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh boy.
Hello, everyone.
We
Tips
watched.
Fedora goes back in time.
We binged season 1 of Close Enough, and by we I mean I binged season 1 of Close Enough. Chibi, Wisdom, and Jack joined in later, and Cable's already seen the entire series, so we're talking about it.
Joined in.
This is my third time binging Close Enough season 1. I love it.
Fucking.
Goodness.
I was surprised. I understand why a lot of people probably don't like this show, but like I personally fucking loved it.
The show is fucking great.
I probably like this more than I like Adventure, or not Adventure Time. Well, definitely Adventure Time, but regular show, to be honest.
It has a weird charm to it. I absolutely love Josh because I think he's just a dumb idiot.
Josh is wonderful. I was expecting Josh to be Mordecai 2.0. He's actually pretty wholesome.
That first episode with the bird where it's like, look at Emily, he loves me. Gringo cabron, gringo cabron. Josh, that's not what he's saying.
No.
Bird Josh, gringo cabron.
Batty?
Yeah.
You're actually wrong and right. He's Mordecai, but better. He's just better Mordecai.
I can tell, fucking, JG Quintel probably, he's like one of those showrunners that obviously puts himself into the main character. Like they're probably not complete self-inserts, but Josh actually might be closer to a self-insert now that I think about it, considering it looks exactly like him.
The thing about it that I like too, and just is still on topic of why I like this so much, is Josh is obviously a self-insert, and while Josh may be one of the main characters, Josh is in no means he's not afraid to take the piss out of Josh. Josh is a fucking idiot in most things that he tries to do.
Josh is the butt of the joke so many fucking times.
I know you haven't seen season 2 yet, but that one clip I showed you where it's they're all looking at their ancestry and heritage, and it's Bert's Japanese, my family comes from Guadalajara, and Josh is white, and he's so happy, can you believe it? He's just so excited.
Oh boy, oh honey.
Josh is lovable, and he's great.
Yeah, he's dumb. I like all of the main cast.
Alex is my favorite.
Alex makes sense why he'd be your favorite. He radiates semi-cable energy.
Alex is great.
I was half expecting pickle noses.
Alex is the type of person, well, not even the type, he is a college professor who has a degree in anthropology, and also on his spare time writes science fiction / erotic novels about Vikings.
Sometimes they're young adult, sometimes it's just porn. He has a varied creative portfolio, we'll say.
Of niche topics.
Yeah.
Betty, you binged all of Close Enough today. Tell me what you thought.
Okay, so Close Enough was funny in the fact that when we watched The Great North Cable,
which we'll talk about soon.
We'll talk about soon. I get to laugh at people who live in Alaska. When I watch Close Enough, I get to laugh at people who live in California.
Hi.
Yeah. Hey, Chibi.
Like our own resident Chibi Wisdom.
So Chibi Wisdom is here also, beyond just being here for the podcast. He is what I like to call our foreign language consultant for this.
Yes.
Sure.
Chibi, how accurate to Californian lifestyle was this?
So there are a couple of inconsistencies, most of which is the fact that they make LA look like it's a far greater place than it actually is.
Chibi, you didn't see episode 1. There's angry British orphans running around the streets trying to kill you.
That was
No,
episode 1.
I saw that episode.
Oh, then you did too. Wait, you saw that episode, and then did you come?
We watched the first episode a long time, like a couple weeks ago.
What episode did you pop into? Did we pop in with you today?
Goodness, I don't remember.
I think it was episode 4, technically. That's when they dropped in. But yeah, no. First episode. The two main characters, not trick. Enable a group of like limey English like orphans that you'd see in like Mary Poppins, to run a sweatshop to make their daughter a special family blanket, and they proceed to have sex under the blanket.
But none of them were children. They were all just old, short people.
Yeah,
they weren't even British.
The two main characters had sex, by the way. The kids did not participate, but also they turned out to be really weird old people.
Really weird old people.
Yeah.
Also, we will have to refrain from saying that. We'll say doing taxes.
Who were doing taxes.
Taxes.
They were fucking.
They were yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, premise of the show.
Tax evasion.
The married couple with a daughter who's 5, I guess, around that age. They live
Toddler.
they live in fucking LA, so rent is high, so they live with their
a divorced couple.
a divorced couple who they're also best friends with.
Yo, give it the anime rundown. It's a slice of life comedy, and also has some romance in it, just a little bit.
Also, similar to regular show, has a
Sure.
twinge of Monster of the Week in it.
Yeah, it's really dumb with the random shit that happens. Like, their world doesn't make sense unless you realize that the world doesn't make sense, and then it makes perfect sense. You can kind of expect what dumb shit is gonna happen.
I was like worried that this was going to be like not as weird as regular show, but lo and behold, here we are.
No. When the thermostat breaks in the first episode, they set you up for that right away to let you know. It's J.G. Quintel's style of like doing comedy. And personally for me, I love it. It's one of my favorite like things of just, oh my god, random shit just happening.
Yeah,
It's fucking funny.
it's like, again, it's like a very specific type of humor, so if you don't find regular show funny, you're probably not going to find this show funny. But I personally think this show, I think I enjoy it more than regular show.
Oh, here's the thing: is I actually really don't like regular show. I like this show.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go on with what you're saying.
Oh no, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, well, it helps that the two main characters aren't like irredeemable assholes. Not that like Mordecai and Rigby are irredeemable, but like
They are assholes.
They're giant fucking assholes, and the line between like feeling sympathy for Mordecai and Rigby gets like lower and lower the further you get in the series. Versus like, I am completely fucking sold on Josh and Emily. You
just want them to take care of Candace. You just want them to be good parents.
I just want them to be good parents and be happy and, have weird marriage sex and do whatever the fuck they want to do in their lives, because they're very relatable but also wholesome people, and I enjoy them. Sometimes wholesome.
They're mostly wholesome.
Mostly.
It's like in like the so this is kind of jumping a little bit past like the quilt episode, but like in the episode where they're just like looking at houses, Josh's only thing that he's focused on isn't like, oh, I want this because I'm being selfish. It's, what can I do that will get me some time with my family? Like, what's something I can do with my family?
Oh yeah.
And all he wants is just to do stuff with Emily and Candace. He doesn't actually care what it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
He loves his wife and his daughter dearly.
Yeah.
It's just Josh is kind of dumb, so it's hard for him to focus.
Yeah. It's like so many of these adult animations or like cartoons, actually Western cartoons in general, they have like dumb characters, but it's like important to know like how they're dumb, if that makes sense. Because you can have like a dumb character and have them being like a giant fucking asshole, like the fucking dad from like Amazing World of Gumball. But like Josh is just like an idiot in the fact that he doesn't he doesn't get like obvious shit. So there is an episode where a woman was aggressively, like, flirting with him, like, wanting to basically bang the shit out of him. At least that's what she was, like, trying to put on. And he honestly just thought they were being, like friends.
And it had to get pointed out to him aggressively, where it's like, oh, maybe we could just go over there and tell her that you won't be co-parents. I mean, yeah, sure, she invited me over for a tour of her bathtub anyway, so... Oh, okay, I see it now.
It's like that one seated Family Guy where your girl is literally putting a runway up to her for Brian.
Like, the thing is, Brian got the signal. He just wasn't doing anything. Josh wouldn't have gotten signal like, runway!
Are we playing runway model?
Josh is an idiot. Actually, you know what? I won't even say Josh is an idiot, because he's fairly competent in a lot of stuff he does. Like, he's a solid programmer. He knows a lot about being able to, like, hack into technology and stuff.
It's the same problem I have. High int, low wisdom.
He's just very nice. Josh is nice to everybody.
Yeah, he's super fucking nice. It is just he is oblivious is the better way to put it. He's an idiot in the fact that he is just oblivious to a lot of things, like just completely fly over his head.
But you gotta give him his credit where credit is due. When it comes to Emily or Candace, Josh will do anything for them.
Oh, yeah.
He loves those two dearly.
There have been several times where he's, like, gone into serious fucking, like, danger just to protect his family. And same with Emily, too.
Uh-huh. Like, Candace has good parents.
Yeah.
She is a very loved little girl.
Yes. And Candace herself is fun. She's just like a crazy little, like, snot-nosed, kid.
Let's, instead of just going over random points, we can, like, burn through episodes. Like the first one with the, quilty pleasures.
Yes.
Where they meet the British street urchins who make them a family quilt.
Yeah. Who desperately are in need of parenting because they don't have parents because they're orphans.
We just want some good scolding. These are my friends, Walleye, Tilapia, and Scrode. It's pronounced Scrod. And he just watches them have say, like, Scrod likey. Then they're just old people at the very end of the episode. Like, listen, we're not British, we're not kids, and we're not homeless. And then they just start chasing them, and then but before that, like, they're trying to fucking find everything. Emily's actively haggling. Josh can't find thread. All he's focused on is churros.
Just buying random shit at the Mexican market.
Churros!
It is... Wait, those little old people, is that just a creepy sex thing? Chibi, is that a creepy sex cult in LA?
So I'm going to use my experience with San Francisco and say yes.
Okay, so...
Oh, no.
Thank you. Chibi Wisdom, foreign language consultant. That means it was a second. We should put a little
check it in the mail,
Chibi.
But yeah, that's basically what happened in that episode.
Well, Candace makes her own quilt patch, and then, like, the fucking teacher there at their school, who I didn't like him at first until he shows up in later episodes.
He's very unlikable at first because he is your, like, stereotypical, not obnoxious, but, like,
hippie teacher.
Hipster teacher. He looks like one of those, like, guys you go... I don't know, like the sriracha beard.
He'd sell you, like, he'd, like, convince you to try to take yoga classes and would, like, make passive-aggressive judgment on you for not doing it.
Yeah, he only drinks cucumber water, stuff like that.
Yeah, he'd be a fucking frustrating person to have around. But
he grows on you later on.
Yeah, it's all because when he gets punched and you see him, like, react. Like, he just gets punched and his only reaction is, bitch, use your words!
That was fucking funny to come in on that was, bitch, use your words!
and she's worried because, like, oh my god, my daughter's teacher just saw me high. And he's just smoking weed in the park and drinking. He doesn't care.
He does not give a shit.
It's LA!
It's LA, he doesn't care.
And off hours, so.
Also, as a correction, it's LA. Everyone's drinking cucumber water.
Yeah.
Eating avocado toast.
Yeah.
Do you grow avocados in LA, Chibi? What the hell's the big... Slight note, I need to know. Why avocados?
It's the super fruit.
I'm gonna take a pause there for a second and go, I don't know, but I will also mention that there's an entire area in California that's like dead, like it is set on garlic. To the point where they have a garlic festival.
Okay, I gotta be real with you. I like garlic.
You can get garlic ice
Delicious.
cream.
Garlic is fucking bomb. I'll eat garlic in pretty much everything, but avocado, I don't like it, Chibi. It looks gross and it tastes gross, and it looks like an old goblin scrotum, and I don't like it.
Yo, people in LA eat avocados like it is like just the heavens like just came down onto their plate like it's ice cream.
I'm pretty sure like if you want to like have a baby in LA, you need to take a whole avocado and take the seed out of it, and then when the male and the female eat half of it, in 9 months the woman will produce a baby with both their DNA.
It's just how it works.
And also give birth to more avocados. But that's
it's one baby and 3 avocados. That's how they justify the birth rate.
Yeah. Real quick, can I talk about the story where hipsters almost hospitalized my mom?
I think you told me the story, but yes.
There's a couple of the more like new age semi-gentrified locations where I live. We decided to go to one of them because there was a fancy new age hipster like pizzeria shop, you know, the wood grill kind that has like all the weird like toppings and all that, you know the type of restaurant I'm basically conveying.
The type of restaurant where you can't just get pepperoni pizza, they'll look at you weird.
Yeah precisely.
And judge you.
Guess what, my mom's allergic to mint, and they gave us mint water without telling us. Because the only water that they serve there is mint water.
That should be... They okay, that's poisoning somebody.
Yeah, it was really... luckily my mom's okay. But that was a very fucking weird experience. But continuing on with episode 2. What was that?
Oh yeah,
the perfect house.
Oh my god, I love that episode. I love for a very specific reason. So the perfect house is literally Emily house hunting, and then with 3 people it's like 2 other people who don't want to be like where they are in life. There's a dad who hates his kids, and then a young child celebrity who has a very weird like monologue where it's like, why are you looking at houses? Aren't you a child celebrity? Yeah, I like to go and look at these houses because it reminds me of the childhood I'll never have. When you're raised in Hollywood and stuck in a perpetual state of people giving you things, I wonder if I'm going to look back on these years I'm going to look back on this in 20 years and go, where's my childhood? And then the dude just looks at it and goes, yeah, my kids love your songs. They play them all the time. They can't sing. It's terrible.
I think I think this is just might be my interpretation here, but I think that was a writer venting for a bit.
Oh, probably.
But it's the way they deliver it is it's so serious, and they have like no like joking music with it. Then to have the dude just like cut in like, yeah, my kids love your songs. They try to sing them, but they can't sing.
No.
Oh, why are you here? Oh, Emily just responds to the dude with like, oh, my roommates are painting all over the floor. Oh, I get that feeling. My kids are writing on the walls and shit.
I won't lie. This episode right here, episode 2, is probably my favorite next to a way later one, and it might be the finale if I remember correctly.
The dog episode.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
that's a really good episode, but this one has to be my second favorite. This is a really solid episode.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It got fucking weird.
Yes, and that's why I love it. It's like an SCP. It turns to an SCP episode.
So the premise is while they're house hunting, they pretend to be family while Josh isn't there, and the trade-off is Emily gets stuck in a sitcom with them where she keeps trying to fight the formula even when Josh shows up, and it's like they can't do it until she like actually follows the sitcom formula, sits down with them like, I haven't been honest with any of y'all, blah blah blah. Like, what I love about it, especially to Chibi, is the fact that she acknowledges the musical changes and everything happening. The music changed. Of course, I gotta follow the formula, not fight it.
It's a weird episode where being meta about the show being a show actually works in its favor.
Yep. But yeah, Emily escapes with Josh after learning her lesson, and the father is stuck to be an 80s single sitcom dad for the rest of all of eternity, presumably.
Yeah.
That was his choice, by the way.
That was his choice.
Yeah.
Because he saw his wife coming with the kids, and she's like, "You better not." He slammed the door. Oh, thank God. Classic Dave.
Yeah, it opens it again.
Now here's
Classic Dave. Classic Dave.
okay. So here's the thing. So that open house sitcom thing is obviously a pocket universe, right? Or a pocket dimension.
Oh, definitely.
Do you think they're going to age? Or
No,
like
they're TV celebrities.
It's
They
a
never age.
sitcom.
okay,
They never
so
age.
do you think
No.
they can sustain themselves without food or water? Because we established it's an open house, so all the food is just stickers on the fridge, and there's no water. It's all imaginary. So do
TV magic.
Magic.
you think they're gonna
Yeah,
stay there
they're just
forever, or they're gonna die?
They're gonna probably stay there till they get canceled.
Okay, fair enough. Wait, the in-universe show or close enough?
In universe show.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
But personally, for me, I don't see Classic Dave getting boring anytime soon. I fucking love Classic Dave.
Oh yeah.
Classic Dave.
That's our Dave.
No. Episode 2 of this, which is Logan's Run and fucking Room Parents. I don't think you guys were here for that one. But anyway, I definitely like.
Oh.
I love that simply just because they go to a bar called Logan's, which is. It's the dude who runs it is actually in like his 50s, but he's pretending to be like 20, and he's executing people in the bar who are 30 and older.
Yeah. No old people.
Because-
There's like a guy with like a Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt.
And he walks in there like, "Can I get an IPA? Maybe a draft beer? Let me see some ID, bro." Then he kills the dude by sending him up into a ceiling fan. Like, yeah, all people over 30 must be executed, just like in Logan's Run. And then they find him out because like, Logan's Run? Did you just reference a movie from the 1970s? And it's like, that's why he named the bar Logan's. But it's really dumb. Fucking... It's not the best episode, but I do just enjoy like how like dumb the premise of it was.
Yeah.
Room Parents is again the one with the chick who's coming on to Josh. At first, that's what it seems like. When in reality, she's just trying to steal the fundraiser money, which is only like $250.
Yeah.
And she's running this scam all across America where she's fucking just going, like, she has people going around the country pretending to be moms at schools to steal fundraiser money so they can collect $250 at a time.
And seducing all the Joshes along the way.
Yeah, because apparently the dumb dads that are willing to give them money are usually referred to as Joshes.
Because, you know, just that's what Joshes do. And the main character just happens to be a Josh.
That one's not the most, like... It's not the weirdest episode in the series. It's just, it's a bit, like... And, like, it's funny, but it's not, like, my favorite one.
I like it just simply for the fact of how oblivious Josh is. But,
Yeah.
like, how, like, at the same time, like, he is 100% faithful to his family. There is not a second in that man's mind where he's thinking on cheating with his wife. Mostly because he's dumb, but he was legitimately convinced that he was just friends with that lady.
Yeah, it's like... the idea of cheating on Emily never even crosses his mind. He's like, why would I cheat on Emily? I love Emily.
Yeah.
It's like, it's nice to see a faithful husband.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I like the ending where, like, it's like a fucking gunfight on, like, a little kiddie train.
It really does turn into that. And they're just putting kids off the train, like, putting them down places.
I fucking called it, Cable. I'm like, okay, this is fun. When is this bitch gonna explode? And then she, like, exploded, like 2 minutes later.
People explode a lot in this show.
Yeah, well, it's like I not to rag on JG Quintel, but he does like exploding people a lot.
It's funny.
It is funny. It's funniest when it like happens for no reason. Like somebody will just like fall over and they'll just fucking blow up.
Also, it's a good way of getting rid of a villain without having to do some bullshit reason.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to Skate Dad.
Skate Dad, oh my god.
Skate Dad's pretty good.
Skate Dad's fucking solid. Josh is teaching Candace to skateboard because he wants to bond with her, and immediately he can't do it because he ass knifes himself. Which, if you don't know what an ass knife is, it's when you try to ollie the skate and you slide off the board, you hit your taint directly on it and then immediately fall over in excruciating pain because it really fucking hurts.
He had to wear like a metal crotch guard for the rest of the episode.
Then grind it on said crossguard. Crotch guard, shit.
My favorite part of that episode is just the fucking ending, where the dude he didn't like that was teaching his daughter to skate while he was injured, just like, that man is no skate dad. He's a skate father.
That's another thing I liked. Like, in almost anything else, that guy would have been revealed to be a douchebag. He was just a nice guy.
Just a really nice dude.
Yeah, and like...
And in fact, was just Josh.
Yeah, Josh was just realized he was just dad jealous.
Yeah.
But my favorite joke from that episode was, like, he was suggesting skateboards for Candace, and one of them was like the deck was basically just like him shirtless, and then like Josh says, that's really inappropriate for children. We'll take the sane board instead.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Emily, where it's like, hello.
Oh yeah, that's it. Emily wouldn't cheat on Josh, but she doesn't mind looking at eye candy.
Hello.
She look, but no touch.
Yeah.
Now, just to jump off the subject real quick, Bridget would 100% fuck Goosh.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Bridget fucks everything that moves.
But she takes an Insta first.
Yes.
Alex wouldn't. Alex is more interested in having strange lectures with them.
He's in it for the story.
Yeah.
Alex is so weird. Can't wait to get to more. Actually, right after Skate Dad is a very big Alex episode because you see his bet with the clowns in 100% no stress day. Emily's kind of having muscle spasms due to stress, so Josh offers to take all her chores to give her a day to like relax. To which she just goes and smokes weed in Bridget's car with her. So Josh, Alex, and Candace go to run errands, and in running errands, Alex is being harassed by a bunch of clowns that never back down from a bet. Maddie, would you like to explain what the bet was?
So, Alex bet that the clowns, which, you know, were referred to as clown strippers at one point. I don't know if they were actually strippers or they were just like actual clowns that were muscular and didn't wear any clothes, hardly. But basically, Alex made a bet that one of the clowns couldn't make a giraffe, like a balloon giraffe. The clown proceeds to take off his pants, and you see the shadow of his dongle. In which case he makes a dog from his penis, and Alex is like, haha, I said a giraffe, that's a dog, and then its neck starts growing.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
Long story short, now I owe them $3,000.
Oh my god. I'm gonna be really capable. I think this was my favorite episode of the season.
No stress day?
Yeah, no, I like.
You sure it's not the snail?
The Snell was like, it had probably the best joke, in which case that wasn't a joke, it was just a character on screen, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
What you're saying is it had the highest high point, but it wasn't the best overall.
Yeah, so I liked every episode in this season. This was for me the most consistently funny.
No Stress Day is solid.
Yeah.
They're also trying to go get a ham, to which they go to these people who are like hoarding all the hams in the fucking city.
Yeah.
And it ends up with them getting kidnapped. Candace getting put into a very nice daycare center, which they get her
Yes.
back from because the people there were monsters, but they're not monsters. But
Yep.
They end up getting chased by stripper clowns and hamburglers, to which Josh makes them a bet that if they can't, they bet their life that they can't beat Josh in the video game. To which Emily comes back after she finds Candace's teacher while she's high, punches him in the eye, and he says, "Bitch, use your words." Emily comes back and proceeds to basically beat every single one of them and save everybody's lives. And the dude,
Go,
the
Josh.
hamburger is still like, oh, can't we just kill him? And the clowns just smack him in the back of the head. Respect the bet.
That's probably one of my
No.
favorite jokes.
Wait, no. What about who's that actor from Waterworld?
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah.
Costner's face from Waterworld.
Yeah, just no.
That was dumb.
I love
It's Kevin
I love it
Costner
because it's
from
just out of
Waterworld.
nowhere.
Yeah,
No,
it's.
Kevin Costner's face from Waterworld.
I mean, I don't know why Josh wouldn't program that into his weird VR game about climbing ladders. So
I will say my favorite joke is the very end of the episode where Bridget's like, "Oh, I was just talking to the cutest guy out there. Hey, who wants to see a brontosaurus?" And Candace screams, "I do." "No, you don't."
Oh.
I want to see that brontosaurus, but that's just me.
You know what? I'm morbidly curious to see it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's not even like a sexual thing. It's just like,
No, but
can you?
the question is, what differs from a dick balloon brontosaurus from a dick balloon giraffe?
Longer neck.
Oh my god.
And tail.
Oh,
Calm down, Jack.
I do declare, Mr. Beauregard.
Prank Wars!
Prank Wars. Oh, this episode was fucked up.
Episode. Bridget and Emily beat a dude into a coma because Josh was trying to prank them and it went too fucking far.
Yeah. They're basically
This is
taking
just found in the bush.
self-defense classes because Bridget left Emily alone with a very creepy dude who's actually just playing Pokemon Go.
No one plays that anymore.
I'm gonna catch ya! I'm gonna catch ya! Have you seen a Poliwrath around here?
Nobody plays
No one-
that anymore.
And then punches him in the face.
Oh, that was a different dude.
They beat the dude who like had a crush on Bridget. He was just some dude who was pranking people randomly.
Yep.
Josh convinces him to scare them, and they beat him into a coma, to which they were arrested. And while Josh is trying to find a way to wake the dude out of the coma, Alex has to watch Candace. Gives her candy, and she immediately goes apeshit.
Oh my god.
Also, no, he doesn't prank people. He scares people.
So the thing about Candace, we do not know if those people she was chasing after are still alive.
We don't.
We
Candace
saw
could
like a
take
POV cam of her seeing red and then like running up walls Exorcist style. She probably murdered some people. Don't give Candace candy.
They used her to get to the fucking
They did.
to get to the jail where Emily and because the only way to wake up the dude they beat into a coma was to get him to like see Bridget.
Yeah.
So they used Candace as like a pulley to like pull them towards the fucking jail just by luring her there with candy, and she was like ridiculously strong and fast. Candace is a little adorable munchkin, and I love her. Oh my god, she. You know what? Too. You'll see it in season 2 when we either talk about that or go over it. Candace gets a lot more of her own episodes in season 2, and they're all really good.
Oh, nice.
Like there's some really good Candace episodes in season 2.
I'm very excited to hear that.
And Prank Wars ends with the dude waking up, And then to get Josh back, they prank him with one of the fucking prisoners from there. Then immediately, like, because Josh was getting ready to end it, they pranked him. Prank war's back on, and now they're like, shit. Then we go to Cool Moms.
Cool Moms.
Cool Moms.
Cool Moms is pretty good. It's got the best ending, I think.
Emily basically is tired of talking to boring moms that hang out with her kid, and she wants to get into the crew of Cool Moms.
She tries. She ends up hanging out with a complete douche of a woman.
Yeah.
Who Candace doesn't like her daughter, and Candace is feeling sad because Emily's pretending to be something she's not, and kind of ignoring what Candace wants.
Yeah.
And it's a very straightforward episode of I'm just gonna keep pretending for the sake of things, and like they move forward with it until it's like Emily realizes at the very end, like, oh, you don't ever have to do anything you don't want to do, Candace. Then it's like, oh, I knew you couldn't be a cool mom. Yeah, but I can beat a cool mom's ass. And she proceeds to arm wrestle the bitch. And with the power of mom, doesn't beat her in arm wrestling. She just breaks her fucking arm.
Yep. This is...
She use the power of mom to psychically lift a hat onto her head.
Yep. That's what happens when you're a good mom. You can break people's arms.
Also, Cable, she's not just a douche. She's a fucking psychopath, let's be honest.
She's a fucking douche who makes her own beer. But we still didn't cover the best part of this episode.
Yes, the B plot of this episode.
They have a landlord. We didn't get to talk about Pearl that much, but Pearl is like an old retired cop landlord who runs the building. She's an older black woman, and she adopted a white son named Randy.
I fucking love Pearl. And Randy.
Randy's worried about his mom, so Josh, Alex, and Randy go on a road trip.
We should preface this. Randy is like currently like in his 40s. Like he still lives with his mother.
Yeah, but you know what? Even with that, he's still very wholesome about his motives for going to see her.
Oh yeah, he just he's worried about his mom.
Yeah, she was a cop, and he was never okay until he knew she was home because he didn't know if she would die in LA. So he cries while they were at like this sort of truck stop, and in this show's fashion, his tears awaken a fucking pterodactyl statue.
I forgot about that guy.
It awakens a pterodactyl who tells them about Jesus. Like, we're sure you can fly us over to that place where my mom is at faster than Josh's car. Oh, great. That'll give us time to talk about the word of the Lord.
That was the first thing that caught me completely off guard and like made me lose my shit.
Like,
yeah,
I was okay with the pterodactyl, but once it started talking about Jesus, I was like, what?
So fucking weird. And then they never address it. They just go in and do their stuff, but the pterodactyl just leaves. So there's just a Christ-spewing pterodactyl flying somewhere around California.
It'll come back for revenge for some reason.
They didn't wrong it. They left it on very good terms.
It's just gonna come back later, and it's gonna be a youth pastor, and he's gonna have like a acoustic guitar, and he's gonna be like, "Hey kids, video games and cool are all, but do you know what's really cool?" And he's gonna strum
the Jesus,
the goddles, the Bible.
But they find his mom. She's just getting a naked massage from a dude who is probably humping her as well.
Yeah.
And
with sound.
Everybody's fine. They have a weird naked moment.
Yeah. So basically this all happened at a nudist colony, and Alex, Josh, and Pearl's son all snuck into the nudist colony, not wearing clothes, and a lot of naked hugs ensued, including
also naked takedowns,
including like fucking man, I forget his name. Pearl's son hugging the guy that was just like fucking his mom, and then being like nakedly, by the way, and being like, I love you, Dad.
You, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You forgot his best line before that, though, which is like, as they're walking in, before you know what's going on, he's like, listen, all right? I can't kill everybody in here by myself, so you're each responsible for one corpse.
Oh my god.
Also, that one dude took 13 bullets for Randy's mom.
Yeah.
I was like, that man's a bro.
That was a weirdly, like, even the weirdest of episodes have a bit of wholesomeness to it in this show. It's like, you think you can sort of predict the plots, and to a degree you can, but they're so sort of like, you can predict the plots, but you can't really predict how characters will be with them, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
But then we move on to two of my least favorite episodes for the season. It's probably my least favorite episode, which is Robot Tutor and the Golden Gamer episode.
That's fair.
I don't necessarily like Robot Tutor just because it's a bit slow. Like, it has funny moments, like, you know, Emily and Josh have to stay off of this vacation that they were going to go to for spring break because Candace is failing tests. So, you know, they give it to Alex and Bridget, who don't have gross divorce sex.
Yeah. And
Candace thinks she's dumb because something Emily slips out. But at the end of the episode, Candace finds out she's smart. She beats the robot, and they just kind of like, you know, they go through it. It's not my favorite episode.
It doesn't have as many jokes, and not as much happens in it. And I say that in reference to this episode, which the main characters all get abducted by a psycho-capitalist robot that forces people to watch ads or vaporizes them.
Ugh.
That's what this show does. That the least eventful episode in this season is that.
It's pretty weak, all things considered, yeah.
My neuroscans detected you were annoying, so I vaporized you.
Their neuroscan detected you were annoying, so I put her into a coma-like state. It's just a pile of
That's
ash on
even
the
better. That's even.
I put her into a coma-like state. It's just a pile of ash on the chair. I'll give that. That was a funny joke.
No,
that was a decent joke.
No, it was a pile of ash with blood stains.
I gotta be, like, real with you. It's kind of nice to see I guess a J.G. Quintel, like, regular show-esque show, but, like, it gives no fucks about how violent it is.
It's
allowed to be violent.
And they can use the language that they want to use in this, which is good.
Yeah.
Golden Gamer, sort of the same thing as Robot Tutor. The Alex parts are probably the funniest, but they're like they're few and far between. Because Josh going through his midlife crisis thing and like wishing he would have finished a game he did when he was younger.
Yeah.
Like that was more, all things considered, that was fairly weak. I didn't really like it too much. Like, Alex falling off of the roof trying to impress his students was fun. And then with them just like, hey, yo, Duke, I'm going to post this up online. You cool with that?
At least he asked permission. That's the best thing.
What's your Instagram? I want to tag you.
He has permission twice, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he found out that his students don't hate him. They're just like, you know,
assholes.
Yeah.
Assholes.
They're
Which
just
is,
assholes.
you know, standard California education system in general.
Yeah, but they even, it's like the way they do it, though, again, it's still somewhat wholesome, where it's like, hey, yo, you know, this is a dumb stunt, and you're like, you're our boy, Duke. We don't want to see you die. I thought you all hated me. No. Listen. And they're like quoting things from his class. Like,
You're our Sisyphus.
You're our Sisyphus. You got most of it right, so I'll give you credit. And then when Josh fucking crashes into something after a dumb stunt, they're like, whoa, he is just like Icarus. Flew way too close to the sun.
that added 20 years onto my lifespan. That last.
So long, boys. This is the one I wish Dan would have been here for.
Oh my god, this one was so fucking good. I love.
After a pregnancy scare, Josh decides to get a vasectomy and goes with Alex to get his boys snipped.
He has before he has a vasectomy party. We should preface.
He does have a vasectomy party.
That's nasty.
And then Pearl's like fucking, she's watching Candace because obviously she can't be at the vasectomy party, and she's like, Pearl, what's your vasectomy party? And he's like, I fucking hope nobody, no sicko throws a vasectomy party, and meanwhile it's like across the street.
Party, bro. Like, woo, what's a great vasectomy? What is wrong with people? They go to get a vasectomy, and Josh doesn't like the dude he's talking to. Like, oh, so you'll be my surgeon? Oh, no. This will be done by AI. Top of the line robots, straight from Boston. And the first line it fucking says is, Go Sox.
Go Sox.
Go Sox.
In the most monotone voice, it was so fucking funny. I have not heard you laugh that fucking hard in a while.
So much. So for anybody who doesn't know, I live in Boston. And I hated that. Because it's not wrong. It's not. Even like later on when the robots are chasing them down and you find out that they're rogue AI, I don't think you guys caught everything that they were saying.
I caught most of it, not everything.
Like, they're fucking sitting there like, yo, there's no use running. This is inevitable, like Jeter making it into the majors. Stop trying to run, bro. It's inevitable. We're gonna cut your fucking bro. They're gonna cut your things, bro. They say bro after like every fucking sentence.
They say bro all the time.
Oh, fuck.
Go Sox.
We need to show Dan this episode.
We need to show Dan that episode. When Dan gets on, we're gonna show that episode.
Yeah. I need to be there
They
for
beat
that.
the evil AI. Josh doesn't get a vasectomy because he and Emily both don't want it to happen. They decide, like, maybe later in their life they'll have more kids. And there's a whole subplot with Alex thinking that he has kids.
Oh, yeah. Because he was a
Which he
sperm
doesn't.
donor before he got his vasectomy.
And the two kids there think that Alex is, like, he thinks that the two kids that are being held hostage by the robots and the dude working there to, like, they have, like, basically an It's a Small World ride there to, like, encourage people to get vasectomies, and they have two kids pretending to be robots who just like to pop and lock.
You scaring people about the horrors of childcare. Which, fair enough.
Alex thinks they're his kids, and he's actively trying to protect them as, like, the robots are attacking. They're like, don't worry, kids, I'll protect you. I'm your dad. Like, what? You're not our dad? Our dad's a Republican senator from Florida. Yeah. He's like, wait, what? He checks the database and finds out that his sperm is just in a landfill. Nobody wanted it.
No one wanted it.
Also,
thrown.
The episode ends with them all at a roller rink, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't have weird, like, dupe babies. He's like, oh no, I will have children, and they will be glorious. You see 2,000 years in the future, descendants of Alex on, like, dog leashes running across a barren apocalyptic wasteland with robots behind them going, go Sox!
It's specifically the vasectomy robots, yeah.
So if
God.
if we're ever taken over by robots, it's not going to be like Terminator. It's just going to be a bunch of like drunken Sox fans.
A bunch of Boston Dynamic robots that are just running around.
Some Boston Dynamic fellers went too far.
no. Oh god, they're Boston vasectomy bots.
Oh my god. I don't want to live in a world with a Bostonian Terminator. I really don't.
Do you want anything Bostonian as a robot?
I don't. I really don't, because all it's going to do is just be like, yo, this is a wicked messed up thing. We're in here, bro. Listen, I'll kill you, but first I'm going to go run and get me a large coffee over at Dunkies. Or Dunks, depending on what the fuck they want to call it.
That honestly sounds like hell.
Oh, that sounds awful.
That hurt.
Little
really hurt.
Bostonian fact. You want to, where I specifically live is South Boston, so it's not always Dunks out here. It's, yo, I'm going to go get me a bagel and a coffee from PS Gourmet. It's right over there on East Street.
I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, it was an English cable.
It's
That was not English.
It's not English, but I guarantee you Dan would have known what I said.
Meanwhile,
Also, if anyone from Boston is listening to this, we probably have triggered you.
I fucking like hear shit you say, and I'm like, what the fuck are you saying, Cable? Meanwhile, like Southern slang, howdy. That's it.
Howdy.
That's it.
Wait, you think people only say wicked pissa as a joke, but that's an actual thing.
What?
Wicked pissa.
Yeah, wicked pissa.
I've
That-
had Dan use that on occasion.
I mean, there's people that say pop.
I've heard Dan say wicked pissa ironically, like more than once.
I have to stop myself. Dan brings that out of me sometimes.
And here I thought that like California was weird.
No,
I'm,
it's so
I'm,
weird.
I'm glad we don't like awaken the like fucking inner Southern in each of us hype, because that would be.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh my god.
Help me
It's
go Southern
sometimes
when I'm talking to
so
my
foul.
grandma.
Grandma Chibi. Oh, my name's Grandma Chibi. I'm out here in the sticks, and I like to punch orphans.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
What are they gonna do? Tell their parents? Oh,
Jesus Christ!
Oh, that was funny.
you watch Annie and tell me she doesn't ask for it sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should move on to Clap Like This, because
Like this.
this is the episode where Josh thinks he made a big sell on one of his video games, Clap Like This, which is basically a Dance Dance Revolution game, but for clapping. And he realizes that his family is not rich like he told them, and the people who sold them the game were just assistants that had no right to sell him anything. So, yeah.
They're broke. And so Josh, while he should have talked to his wife immediately about this, he, in his own way, again, still trying to be a good provider for them, goes out of his way to take on more work than he can possibly actually handle, just so that way he doesn't have to deny them anything.
And he does actually do all that work.
This
Like,
episode,
he actually goes through all of it.
yeah, this episode fucking sold me on Josh. Like, the episode where he's trying to be seduced, like, that made me like him. This episode is like, this guy's a fucking moron. I love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Fucking awesome.
Meanwhile, Bridget gets cut off from her rich family, so she has to get a job for herself.
Yep.
At Forever 23.
Forever 23.
Also, I always thought she had a job. She was,
No.
but you know,
I mean,
it's not.
she basically what it was is it's not really a job. It might pay a little, but she's technically in a comedy band with Emily.
Really, she's just living off of heiress money.
Yeah.
Fucking, I wish I could be a rich Japanese person.
But yeah, so turns out Forever 23, when the mall closes and the lights go down, the mannequins in the store come to life and they party and have mannequin sex.
Which, if you guys are wondering what mannequin sex is, yes, it's basically like licking smooth plastic, and yes, it's amazing.
I just want to say, Cable, I am not a pervert. The second those mannequins came on screen, the first thought in my head, because I don't know if it was because they were like all like frat people, or they all like just dress like very suggestively. I'm like, I wonder if those mannequins are fucking. And the first thing that they say upon introducing themselves is, "Yes, we have weird mannequin sex." I'm like, oh, that answers that question. I'm content with this.
Then that just means they knew what you were gonna ask.
Yes, they fucking read my fucking mind.
No, here's the thing. That means they designed them like that.
Yeah.
I like the whole Josh like taking his family out for an expensive dinner at a restaurant where they make the meal in your mouth. Just because I like Emily's line of, "I hear they put the napkin on your face so God can't judge you."
Wow.
But Josh ends up going to Forever 23 and like rescues Bridget when they try to force her to become a mannequin, simply because he's doing a TV installation.
Rescues, tries to rescue, gets caught instantly.
And then Emily and Candace get caught. And they only really get out of it because Candace streams Clap Like This and the mannequin's arms fall off while they're playing Clap Like This because it's a weirdly addictive game.
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, I would probably play Clap Like This and probably have a lot of fun with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It does sound like a fun concept is the thing.
It does sound like a fun
I want to play
idea.
the VR ladder game with like the weird disembodied Kevin Costner head trying to eat you.
You would want to play that.
I can't afford VR, but like if I can in the future, I hope somebody makes that into an actual game because I would play the fuck out of that.
Do you want to still be all polygonal like the one in the show was?
Yeah.
Giant Kevin Costner from Waterworld.
Oh my god.
They beat the mannequins. Bridget's family calls her. She shows them her paycheck. Like, oh, good. Is that how much you make? Oh my god. Look, you're not cut off anymore. And Bridget's like, no, I'll take half.
Money is nice to have.
Money is nice to have.
Wait. So here's the thing, though. And again, don't they all live together so they can like share the rent, or like split the rent?
Yeah.
Is she just keeping like? Is she just being like? She could probably pay the entire rent herself.
Yes.
Probably, but I mean, financially speaking, that's not a dumb move. If you're getting a lot of money and you don't need to spend it because you're fine with where you're living, why not just use it for other stuff or just have fun with it?
Okay, fair enough.
She doesn't hate Alex. She doesn't hate Emily and Josh, and she loves Candace. So it's like, why not just have fun with money if you have the income to do it?
Okay, fair enough.
I would do it, shit. Like, if I started making money, I would stay where I currently live. The rent's like fair enough to like, hey, I'm disposable.
Well, no, I'm not saying like to get a better house. Like, I get like everybody sharing everything evenly, but I'm just wondering if she could like, I don't know, like cover for other people living there that don't have as much.
I would assume she probably could, but the thing with Emily and Josh, I would argue too, and maybe this is just me like speaking on it, like they're probably in a headspace where it's like they still do want to pay something.
Oh yeah.
Because I wouldn't like, even if somebody could pay my entire
yeah, that's a
rent,
good point. That's a good point.
I wouldn't want them paying my whole rent.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I was gonna say this also. Wonder if her and Alex, like, I wonder if she has to pay Alex alimony.
If she does what?
Wonder if she has to pay Alex alimony.
I don't think so.
I don't
Alex
think
has a job.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's how that would work.
I'm just. It's one of those things of I don't know. They might have just been like nobody pays anything on the, divorce.
Probably.
They still
they're
like
not
each
even
other.
like on bad terms.
Yeah, they're still friends. And they still do have like weird divorced feelings for each other, even though they.
Which.
Yeah.
It actually is covered in the next episode, First Date.
Ooh.
Where they go out with the people who are so in love with each other that they got conjoined at the hip.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Emily
and Josh basically recreate their first date. But that's just it. Pretty much that whole plot can be summarized as they just go to a haunted house because that was the first date they went on. They get psychologically tortured there, and eventually it reaffirms how much they love each other. And then they fuck in the haunted house while the lady's trying to get them out.
Well, it was so like, cause like they made it seem like that like was an actual like haunted house, like trap, like supernatural house to lure people in to kill them. But in reality, it was just a really elaborate haunted house that gives people PTSD.
It was fucking cool, though.
But like just the lady, they're like on a elevated pavilion about to have sex, and like the worker there's like, "Are you guys gonna leave? We have other people," and like just the bra falls on her face.
It's ignoring her as they just get down to it.
Yeah.
Fucking, that was dumb. The A plot for this is Bridget starts going out with a dude who she thought was cute, to find out that he's conjoined with somebody else.
Like literally, like they sewed themselves together.
Sewed each other at the hip, and so she calls Alex in as a wingman, and Alex hits it off with the other girl.
Because they like Viking porn.
Yeah, they talk about Viking porn. And I will say the other girl was weird. It was kind of strange when they were about to get sewn together, and she's just like grabbing. I was like, "Oh, look at this Tom Tom! Somebody's full." That for me, that was what was strange. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, does she just like big guys?
She likes tummies.
Wait, no, it actually makes sense. Because that dude did not shut the fuck up about hiking. She was like, I just want somebody that doesn't do that.
Oh, you know what it was?
It was Machu Picchu.
The reason why she was obsessed with his tummy was because she wanted to get conjoined with it.
She's fucking weird. It was stupid.
That's why.
The whole ending of the episode is Alex and Bridget don't get sewn to other people, and they still have some slight feelings for each other. And then the two conjoined people, the woman is like, "Oh, I wish I could find love like that," and the dude just responds with, "And I wish I could masturbate alone." And that's the end of the episode.
Just ends right there.
That's it. That's the end. Yeah. It's a weird episode.
Batty, we're on snail in it. Do you want to take this one?
So, I have a little friend next to me on our desk, as you can see. This was the highlight of the season for me. So, basically, it revolves around Emily not getting to spend enough time with her daughter because she's kind of her boss's lapdog, and her boss, basically pushes all the work that he or other people should be doing onto Emily. And Candace is sad because she doesn't get to play board games with her mom. And the skeleton of the skeleton board game is also sighing because he's like, "Don't worry, my mom doesn't hang out with me either." And the episode basically revolves around to potentially spend more time with her daughter, and to detract from a PR scandal that Emily's company is suffering with because apparently, was it a can of like soup or something?
There was a can of peas that had a used condom in it.
Yeah, used condom.
Which we find out why later.
They had to come up with they made Emily come up with an elaborate PR stunt that would get, the press off their backs. So, because they steal Emily's ideas, she was like, "Okay, how about we make a community garden at my daughter's school?" Because she wants to hang out with her daughter more. But her boss obviously takes that as his own idea, and they start planning for this community garden event, which, of course, Emily has to do everything and can't spend any time with her daughter. And then the best character shows up. No context, no build-up. Emily is working in the garden, and a giant snail with a fedora and a really silly British accent with weird 70s facial hair walks up and is like, "Oh, hey, I can give you more time by letting you borrow my magical time hat."
Do the voice.
Batty, it's just your Terrence voice. Just do your Terrence.
Do it in the voice.
"Oh, hello there. I'm a snail. I don't actually remember any quotes from the episode because I have a bad memory." But he talks like this, basically. And it was
vegetables.
It's so fucking funny because, he comes out of nowhere, right?
Literally nowhere.
Literally. Borrow me magic hat as long as you permit me to gnaw on the vegetables.
No, the vegetation. But I love it because not only does he come out of nowhere, fucking Emily doesn't even acknowledge it's weird. She's just...
I mean, she screams when he shows up, but after that, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
she's just like, oh, this is normal.
I need to insert and say that we had to pause that for just a minute because Batty lost his shit when that snail started talking.
I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
I've never heard so much joy. I've never heard so much joy from this one.
I've never heard you that happy.
I love him. He's perfect. It sucks what happened to him, but he's perfect.
We'll get to that. I'm letting you take over the explanation for this one.
So basically she puts on the time hats, able to slow down time and get a bunch of chores done so she can spend more time with Candace. But because her boss is a chode, he keeps piling on more chores for her to do because he's a lazy piece of shit. And she eventually has to give back the time hat to the Snell. And then the Snell's like, no, I can't let you use my time hat anymore. Anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep. And she's like, I'm gonna use the time hat anyways, and steals it off of the Snell's person while he's sleeping. And she basically does a whole lot more chores. Snell doesn't get to spend time with her daughter. And she realizes, oh no, she's aging the more she uses the hat. Freaked out, she goes back to the Snell, and he's like, well, I told you that would happen. I gave a disclaimer. And then it flashed back to earlier in the episode. He accidentally activates the time hat when he's giving disclaimers, so he talks so fast that nobody's able to register it. And they basically get into a scuffle of... I forgot where she gets the second time hat.
The Snail has another time hat, and they get into a scuffle after he absorbs Candace into his body, and it's like, no, I might just take these little legs and, run my way down to Chinatown and finally accomplish my dream of tasting pork dumplings. It just runs off with Candace's body covered in snail.
So it basically, they have a super fast, high-speed pursuit and they basically keep shooting the time hats at each other, adjusting the age of all the characters. So there's one time where she gets turned into an insecure teenager, so she can't properly fight with her weird teenage hormones. And then she turns the Snell into like a baby Snell, and because Candace is inside, she turns into a fetus.
Oh boy.
No. I think you need to specify too how they're using the time hats, Batty. These are fedoras.
Yes.
And they're tipping fedoras to control time.
Yes, it's like, what the fuck is going on? But eventually, they both turn each other into old people. Candace gets turned into like a lady, and they're like on the brink of death. And Josh, who the entire episode has just been skipping rocks with Randy in like a fucking sewer drain, is like, oh, fucking finally it's my time to be the stone like Randy told me and save my family. So he perfectly skips a rock from wine glass to wine glass at the event and is able to knock the hat off of the Snell as he's about to tip the fedora and kill his wife. And Candace, after that, is able to... I forgot what she does. I think she just tips the fedora again, and it opens up a black hole that sucks in the time hats and the Snell.
They tip the fedoras at the same time, opening a black hole, and then she just kicks the snail in.
Yeah.
You get the best line in the episode where it's like, oh my god, Candace, are you okay? No.
No.
No. But the episode ends with basically the boss like being like, hey, can you do this thing for me? And fucking Emily, learning her lesson, realizes, no, I want to hang out with my daughter tomorrow. And then he's like, okay, fine, come in 45 minutes late.
Come in at 6:45.
Yeah, 6:45, and then he just walks off.
I will say one of my favorite lines out of this entire episode is, what's that supposed to mean? Means you a shit parent.
Means you a shit parent.
That's pretty good.
Jack, you can't tell me that there's nobody in England who sounds like that.
No, that is just your idea of what we sound like.
Because
No, that's the Mighty Boosh's idea of what you sound like.
there is so many times where I've seen something and you have an English person that talks like this really weird lot. That's basically the Trini voice.
It is the genie voice.
It kind of is.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on to the season finale.
Oh, close
The
enough.
best episode.
Season 1
The
finale.
canine guy. I'll let you guys. I gotta step away. I'll let you guys go off on this. I'll be back.
Okay, so fuck, this was a half-hour special. Basically, Alex and Josh, being the dumbasses that they are, every year since they were like teenagers, they would always go to the medieval times. I forget if it's like on a weekly basis or like a yearly basis, but they go to yearly. They always go to the medieval times restaurant on the same day every year since they were teenagers. And
just quote Cable Guy.
And quote Cable Guy because that's their favorite movie because they love Jim Carrey movies.
It's
And
very
the-
specifically just Jim Carrey movies, but like this time it was all fucking Cable Guy shit.
Yeah, and like the fucking poor, like the poor ass waitress there who has been working at the same fucking medieval times for the past 15 years has had to put up with this shit, the entire time. But basically, because Alex is a busy adult now, he's a college professor at a shitty community college. He's like, I forget if he's no. I thought he was
He's trying to get his book published.
Yeah, he's not writing dissertation. He's trying to get his young adult fantasy Viking story published. And he's too busy, and he's grown up, and he's not as into medieval times or going to medieval times as he was, when he was younger. And Josh, taking this personally, is like, oh no, my best friend in the whole wide world is going to skip out on our medieval times anniversary for his stupid book. So I'm gonna go out on by myself. I'm gonna go and quote Cable Guy by myself, and I'm gonna get drunk off of horse piss by myself.
Yeah, can we talk about the worst joke in the entire series?
The joke is amazing.
no.
He's talking to us. Let's switch it up. He pushes the horse behind a wall and drops it. Like it's like brownies. Get your fresh brownies.
Cable.
He opens up the fake oven and it's just a horse squeezing shit out.
Okay, so Cable. I went into this show thinking I wasn't gonna like most of it. I liked almost every single fucking joke in the season, except that one.
That one was bad.
Yeah.
I love that.
That one, I wanted to puke after that. I know they had a censor bar over the horse shit, but still.
That was fucking funny.
The only thing that redeems it is Shakespeare Bear.
Yeah, we'll get to Shakespeare Bear in a little bit.
GB, I swear to God, Shakespeare Bear is... He's my hero.
So good.
But
okay, I'll get to that later.
But like Josh, drunken off horse piss and feeling abandoned by Alex, wanders into the back alley where he meets a very special individual. Who wants to take this away?
Well, he meets a lovely canine who, though he has a name, gets whittled down by Josh into being called Dog Boy, which is a bipedal dog who's a boy.
Yeah,
Boy.
he wears clothes.
Brian, but better.
He drives a van with his face on it, and he has a very funny voice that's like, "Oh, hello there, Ruff, or me, Dog Boy, me like Josh." And
Dog Boy loves Jim Carrey movies.
yeah, because he was part of a hideous like genetic experiment where a lady who was trying to play God basically made a combination of a dog and a boy, and his only solace in life was watching Jim Carrey movies, which
That's a pretty bad solace in life, not gonna lie.
yes, which good for him. He ran into the person who loves Jim Carrey the most in LA. So you can see where this episode's going. Dog Boy becomes Josh's new best friend, and Alex starts getting jealous. And then eventually he finds out, wait, Alex finds out Dogboy has a college degree at Phoenix University online.
University of Phoenix.
University of Phoenix.
Old browsers.
And he actually helps him proofread and give positive feedback on Alex's story. And then it's like, okay, I guess we're fighting over Dogboy now because everybody wants to be best friends with Dogboy. Meanwhile, while Alex and Josh are having friendship issues, so is Emily and oh my god, did I just Bridget? Yeah, Bridget are having problems because Emily is too busy being a mom, and Bridget wants Emily to focus more on their comedy band, which they have a parody comedy band. And look up.
Weird Al focuses on his family.
Yeah, it's like fucking. They look up to Weird Al and Simon and Garfunkel, and nobody watches their shows, and they make weird songs about having sex with Mr. Rogers.
But not that Mr. Rogers.
Not that Mr. Rogers, not the one from TV, a different Mr. Rogers. But they basically decide, oh hey, okay, Emily's gonna free up her schedule so they can go to a cabin in the woods and write a song album. Because to focus on their band a little bit more, which, as you do. And during their entire stay at the cabin, Emily is too focused on keeping track of her daughter, who's staying with Pearl, I think.
Which, honestly, good for her.
She cares.
Yeah, she cares. It's like a weird situation to where nobody's technically in the wrong, at least the way I see it. It's just a difference of fucking how people use their time.
Priorities.
Yeah, because some like Alex and Emily have responsibilities versus Josh and Bridget, who just like to be dumbasses. But eventually they go out into the wilderness and they encounter Weird Al Yankovic, who indeed does have a banana cell phone.
He also mentions that neither of them are wrong for feeling the way that they feel, and then he explains his creative process, which is stabbing himself in the foot with a narwhal horn, or is it a unicorn horn? I forgot.
Narwhal horn.
A narwhal horn that he's carved himself, and then taking that blood and then singing a song to a musical god or devil, I think.
A musical devil.
Anantashesha.
Anantashesha. So yeah, everybody. Thing you need to pick up from that episode: everybody has different creative processes. Some people do things differently. Not everybody's the same, and sometimes you just need to sacrifice blood to a music devil.
Weird Al gets mauled by a bear.
Yeah,
not just any bear. Not just any bear.
Weird Al gets mauled to death by Chibi. Take it away.
By Shakespeare bear, the best bear, a bear that literally speaks in nothing but Shakespeare quotes.
Forsooth, what did I think on the window? It was fucking great.
Meanwhile, Candace, who's staying with Pearl, Pearl basically used to be a cop, and she discovers a cold case involving somebody that may or may not be related to Dogboy. And she decides to team up with Candace, who, by the way, is a 5-year-old child, if you still do not understand that. And Candace responds can I be the corrupt cop who doesn't play by the rules?
Can I be Denzel Washington?
Yeah. And they basically team up to find the lady that made Dogboy and who, likes playing God and other stuff. Cable, do you want to say what happens next with Alex and Josh?
Alex and Josh rush to go find the lady who's like a kidnapped dog boy, the fucking mad scientist playing God. And then, as they break into her compound, they find out she's been making animal-human hybrids to star in movies.
For the sole purpose. Actually, you know what? Jack, would you like to explain why?
Yes. The reason why she has been genetically splicing these animals is because CG is no longer wanted and practical effects are more needed for these films. That's why these genetic abominations now exist, to be the actors in these animal movies. And Dog Boy was supposed to be in a basketball film.
Airbud.
God.
Turns
So
out,
that renders his whole backstory that he was telling us earlier, which made it sound like he was being just a tortured science animal, a lot less tortury, because it was all about being stifled creatively in his acting.
you wanted to break out into different roles.
He also didn't fit into the, what was it, like 20, it was like 25 to 30 demographic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta name all the animals too. There was
Yes.
Dog Boy, Shakespeare Bear, Ear Skunk,
Ear skunk. You were a real
Foot snake.
motherfucker.
With Snake.
Snake, Coyote with fist on back.
What? No, wait, we forgot something.
The Eagle.
What? Well, what about Hans Elk as well? But,
Oh yeah, Hand Elk.
He became a hand
and President Eagle.
What about the what about Alex's specific line?
His specific line was when he found out what she was doing, like, what is it you're trying to do here, huh? Make furries even more sexy? My note, add more nips.
I was just like, why?
Jack, do you sympathize with this man? I'm asking.
I just want to point out the weird, one of the weirdest things I that bothers me about the furry community is the extra nips. I don't know why it bothers me so much.
Said by a cat boy, okay.
Listen, I only have 2 nipples, as far as you know.
As far as we know.
According to Alex Batty, you need like 8 more of them.
Well, Alex has shit taste, so
Oh,
he listens to Ween. Cable.
I don't know. You've seen it.
I'm not gonna take like fucking advice to make me more attractive by somebody who fucking listens to Ween.
I swear, I love that line. There was a line back in Prank War where he's like, "All right, my conversation skills with kids are way limited," and he's just standing there with Candace, like, "Oh, you hear that new Ween album?"
Okay. So our evil science mastermind has the current plot of castrating castrating Dog Boy to get his sperm to make more dog boys.
Yes.
But she is foiled because Pearl is hot on her case, and Pearl finally caught her, knowing her evil schemes, and she's going to prison for her 6 unpaid parking tickets.
But before that, her plan got foiled with the dumbest purpose, or it got foiled with the dumbest thing possible, which is the... Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna see. LAPD don't give a shit if you're making genetic mutations of
No,
animals.
they don't care at all.
Yeah, no, but parking tickets, like, fucking, like, you're fucking dead, son.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
I want to bring this up because I don't remember. I don't know if it was you, Batty, but there was a friend I had a long time ago where we talked about making a show. This is probably never going to happen, but if it does for some reason, I call this first. Nobody steal this from me. The premise was it was supposed to be a very wholesome sitcom, but like centered around like a young boy going through high school. But his dad is just like a roving killer throughout the entire neighborhood. So people just start disappearing through it, and the series finale was supposed to be him getting arrested because they finally caught up with him for unpaid parking tickets. And I lost my shit when I first saw this finale because I was like, "Fuck!" They kind of beat me to the punch.
But yes, was there?
No, just go. I'm just.
Oh,
laughing at it.
that is a fantastic premise.
Josh and Alex actually, quote unquote, saved Dog Boy in the dumbest way possible, using the most annoying sound in the world.
Which they would make at medieval times to annoy the waitress.
It apparently also, the most annoying sound in the world also disables the mind control that she has on all of the animal mutants. Not that that matters, because as soon as they go free, they just kind of run off. So she gets arrested, Dog Boy is saved, and then there's like a montage.
Where we
This
see
is the
What
second-
happened to the animals after?
This is the second time a Republican senator is brought up
Yes,
in this show, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shakespeare Bear goes on to become a Republican senator.
Which
unfortunately.
I'm kind of convinced somehow that bear is the not kids of Alex.
Oh my god.
Like the father of those kids. I'm like,
Oh,
I
The
know that's
episodes don't-
impossible.
The episodes don't have to happen like canonically in order. This
Yeah, they're
episode
not
could
like in order.
True. That could be.
They are half bear people.
Oh my god.
I will say.
Yeah.
Can we just have like a quick 10 seconds moment of silence for Ear Skunk who
Yes.
can live?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Ear Skunk.
we'd love to.
Remember his famous quote: "Listen like nobody's watching."
Okay. So,
That skunk owed me $20.
can I bring up a potentially controversial point?
Shoot.
What's up?
So, there's a phrase that I don't like it in the context that most people use it in, and I wouldn't say you should use it for this show, but have you ever heard the phrase turning your brain off to enjoy something?
Yeah.
So, I don't think you should turn your brain off to enjoy this. It's more in the case of you need to understand what, the show is taking priority in. A lot of the time, plot stuff goes by really fast on purpose, and stuff gets resolved in the stupidest way possible that if you're looking at it from a realistic perspective, or a clever, logical perspective, it either shouldn't work, or it's a very niche there's a lot of episodes that basically they resolve the issue through random bullshit that you wouldn't even expect.
Yeah.
Making a loud annoying sound, or clapping, convincing the mannequins to clap in a video game. I would say that is not the main focus on the show, and if you judge the show purely based off of the fact that it has convenient plot resolutions sometimes, when it's predominantly about stupid jokes, I think you're probably watching the wrong show.
Yeah, it's not for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And there's no need to harp on it. There's many other shows you can go
Yeah.
watch. So
This
just
is-
just leave it alone.
Yeah, this is definitely not a show for everybody. I
No.
personally found it fucking hilarious.
hmm
Who was talking about they didn't like a regular show, but they like this show?
I did. I'm not a big fan of regular show. I was gonna compare it for a second. It's oddly enough, the humor is still on point with a regular show. However, I'm far more willing to accept the absurdity because it is slightly grounded. Yeah, you have fedora tipping time travel snail, and I think that's really to the maximum extent of the weirdness that it gets to. Obviously there's some weirder stuff, but it's all still keeps itself relatively grounded, unlike regular show, which, you know, you have like the Garrett Bobby Ferguson episode, which all like form of reality goes right out the window right off the bat as soon as he enters even into the scene.
I also want to make a add on to that. I think it being grounded and having the weird shit actually helps it, because if you like, everything can be answered with, it's probably just weird because it's LA. Like,
yeah, no, you know what? Yeah,
because that
I can accept that
stuff happens in the show that realistically wouldn't happen in real life. But when you go in with the context of, yeah, it's just LA, it's just fucking weird.
Yeah. No, story time for a brief second. This is going to be a small tangent. I apologize, but
fair enough. You have the floor.
Go right ahead.
To add to like weirdness, I've mentioned this story before, but not on podcast, so I'm going to say it again. California in general is a weird place. Like, when you go traveling in California, expect to see weird shit. There was a time where I had gone over to San Francisco, and we were stopped at a light. And I just kind of casually turned to the left, because whatever, I think there was like an art mural there. And I kid you not, I saw a dude who was very casually, mind you, walking around in black tube socks, wearing a tutu and a tie-dye shirt. And he looks like he hadn't shaved in like a year. And he was just casually walking down the road to a Pete's Coffee, which, mind you, at that intersection there was like 5 Pete's Coffees there, that were like 2 or 3 buildings apart from each other. California's a weird place, so when you put this whole show into the perspective of it's just LA, it makes sense.
Yep.
I would like to state that with this show, kind of along the lines of, it's just like, it's a weird place. It's the show very early, like the thing with regular show that I kind of don't like compared to this is, regular show kind of has like a mask of normalcy to it, where it's like they try to make it seem like, oh, this is so out of the, but like the first thing you see in the show is them almost getting killed because their thermostat goes out of control.
Yeah.
And it's within like the first like 30 seconds, like before they even do like the opening credits. So it's like they do a very good job of just like setting the pace for what you should expect to come later on. Like, the show is not going to be grounded in like the laws of physics or reality for how most things are going to work. It's going to get weird. So when you go in there expecting something to get weird, instead of being blindsided by something getting weird, you know, like, all right, well, let's just see the characters. Like, how do I feel about the characters in these situations? And out of all the 4 characters, well, 5 if you count Candace too, which I do, I don't dislike any of them.
No.
Bridget's great. You would think Bridget would be the worst character, but Bridget's really fucking funny.
I fucking love Bridget.
Bridget's fucking good. Alex should come off way more annoying than he is, but he's not.
He doesn't seem like, because with Alex you could go very easily into the like obnoxious college professor stereotype. He's just a normal dude that just went to college for 8 years. And has a lot, and just happens to teach community college.
Yeah, and he just likes his Viking porn.
He loves his Vikings a little too much.
He used to be a professor at UCLA, apparently. That's what he mentioned, actually.
Yep. And it's I enjoy it. I was about to literally make the same point you just made. All of the 5 quote-unquote main characters, eons above Mordecai and Rigby in my book.
And big thing too, Candace doesn't feel like a plot device. Candace feels like a character that things happen to.
Oh yeah, Candace is a kid and has her own perspectives on different situations. It's not like she's a kid character that is the crux of the show. She is one of the 5 main castmates.
I actually expected that she would have been probably like the worst out of all of them, because it's like, oh, it's a kid character, they're gonna be like annoying. Terrible and annoying. It's like, no, she's just like an actual kid.
Yeah.
That I can relate to on a this is California level.
Also, I'm gonna say this: characters are allowed to be human,
Yes.
unlike in cartoons. You know, like kid cartoons.
Yeah.
It depends what cartoons, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
I know, but I mean, look at some of the ones that are going on like nowadays.
Oh.
But if we compare it directly to like regular show, yeah, no, the characters in regular show are all like over dramatic characterizations of their personality traits.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here there's people.
The funniest character in regular show, in my opinion, is just Benson, because like I like Benson simply because yeah, he's the angry boss, but at least it never feels like that's just what he is, and you kind of get why he's angry. But
the thing about Benson that is crazy is he is probably the only iteration of the angry boss like character archetype that is 100% completely 100% fucking justified in being fucking mad at Mordecai and Rigby.
It didn't work
because they are pieces of shit. They barely actually do any of their own work, and
like, Muscleman and High Five Ghost do their job, and he doesn't get mad at Muscleman and High Five Ghost.
Yeah,
all because they like call in. Like that was the biggest thing. It's like, dude, just call in.
Even the fucking teacher in this show, I expected to hate him, but then you find out there's a bit more to him. Yeah. He's not just a pretentious douche.
He just dresses like one.
Yeah, he's got some personality. In season 2, he gets a little bit more attention too. And like, not to spoil season 2, but there's a whole thing that happens. Like, I won't specifically state it, but like he's ready to expel one of the kids in the school, but then they give him an expensive gift, and he's like, I'll see you in class tomorrow. All's forgiven. Like, wait, weren't you just about to expel my daughter for some X, Y, and Z? Yeah, but that was before she gave me something expensive. So now everything's fine, and I love her.
Okay. Well,
that makes the most sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Look, it's so fucking. But I'm glad you enjoyed Close Enough, Batty. I knew for a long time you would really like this show. It's especially to go off of another cartoon.
Yep.
It has a lot of very random moments and things just kind of happen for the sake of happening. But it is not as mind-numbingly annoying to me as Adventure Time was in its earlier seasons.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I was talking about with this the other day. I can respect a lot of Adventure Time. I was not a big Adventure Time fan at all. And a lot of the issues I have with Adventure Time were some of the issues you were talking about regular show. But, like, to where... Sure, Land of Ooze is a cool fantasy setting. When there is nothing to ground yourself with, in the world, that's when things get a little fucky for me.
And then it's like, they take their random humor to the point where it's like, whoa, it's the awesome dragon of bacon bubblegum land.
Awesome
like,
sauce, like 2010, like...
Mathematical schmouse out. Like, ugh.
And it's like, and I had a friend who, he grew out of this. He's was a good artist. I haven't talked to him in a lot of years. He's a good video game developer. Don't want to shit talk him. I respect so much of the dude. Back when Adventure Time was going on, he was one of the people that made Adventure Time his personality. And there were a lot of people like that.
No.
But like, at least with like fucking regular show, like, as much like it's hard to ground yourself in sometimes, there are relatable shit in it more so than like Adventure Time, to where like, oh, I can relate to being a fucking like weird millennial who likes fucking playing video games and doing some of the not all of the other things that Mordecai and Rigby do, but even if they are dicks.
Absolutely. And all their extra characters, though, always felt like just supporting characters to the nonsense of Mordecai and Rigby.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody in Close Enough feels like they equally contribute to something, which makes it so much more enjoyable. If it's like, I don't need a Josh and Emily focused episode. I can be fine with just Bridget. I can be fine with just Alex. I'll even be fine with Pearl and Randy.
Yeah.
Pearl and Randy are pretty fucking good too.
Yeah.
Randy has substance to him.
He does.
It's like, oh, Randy's not just the angry guy who lives next door. You find out, yeah, realistically, he was a kid who grew up with a cop for a mom. So he's kind of really scared when she's not home because he still associates it with the thought of, is my mom going to be dead and I never see her again? Yeah. And that's a believable fear.
Yeah, that's really believable.
Yup, definitely.
Okay.
And so he's a bit of an ass, like where he comes off as like a loud, obnoxious person, but when you understand why he's like that, it's like, I don't even fault him for acting the way that he does. He's impulsive because he's scared, and it's a very believable fear. And a lot of times, it's not something you just get over in like your 30s or your 40s. Sometimes that shit just lives with you.
Yeah. Like, it's also like, it's questionable, like, the exact reason why he still lives with Pearl. Like, it could be either a situation of, I think it probably, the main reason is he just had that, like, fucking abandonment fear, and, like, I don't know if he could support himself realistically, but I think he just doesn't want to leave his mom because he loves his mom so much.
There's a whole thing in season 2 where it's about finding his birth parents. I haven't seen it, though.
Yeah. By the way, I put the snail on your shoulder, Jack.
Oh, I know.
But
I saw you moving it.
I think we, unless there's any other statements anybody wants to make on Close Enough, I think we've thoroughly discussed the episodes of season 1 and actively gone into
we covered this shit. Everybody say bye to the snail.
I cast enlarge snail.
No.
Last statement.
No, don't enlarge it. Oh no, look what you've done.
It's hiding behind the overlay. It's gonna look chibi.
Boss snail.
Boss snail.
Boss snail. Oh, I'm shrinking.
Chibi, that look basically equates to your shit parent.
You're right, I'm not even a parent.
You're too salty.
Final statements are, I love Close Enough. I'm excited to make it through season 2 again. I loved rewatching season 1. This JG Quintel has a storytelling style of his that I really adore. And in terms of character designs, I will say I loved Regular Show's design and like its art direction, and I'm happy to see it progressing more in Close Enough. I think it's fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
And I have no complaints.
I'm just so glad that when I saw this art style and I knew it was the same person that did Rage, so I thought, oh no. I'm glad I was wrong. I'm so fucking glad I was wrong.
So do you like the show, Jack?
I do. Regular Show just annoyed me. This one, I want to see more.
This whole other season review. Season 2's premiere is really good too. It's called Josh Gets Shredded. I've seen it. It's fucking funny.
I've seen it too.
So my opinions of season 1, because I have not seen season 2 yet, basically the same as everybody else. As I'm more aligned with Cable that I did enjoy watching Regular Show when it was on. There's a lot of shit that I don't like about Regular Show, like mainly just the main 2 characters. But like,
I hate Pops the most. Pops is the worst thing.
Yeah, Pops is bad sometimes, but freaking Close Enough kind of fixes all of the qualms I had with Regular Show, and it's just more enjoyable for me overall. In addition to that, I just want to preface, if you don't like Regular Show's sense of humor, there's might be a chance that you're not going to like Close Enough. Hey, you might like it, like Jack and Chibi both liked it, and they didn't like Regular Show, so I guess it's up in the air, but just if you get into it and it's not your thing, then no shame in dropping it. I enjoyed it.
As someone who liked both Regular Show and Close Enough, I'm gonna say this: just give it a try, even if you didn't like Regular Show.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the first episode or try the first episode. That's it. And if you don't like it, leave.
First episode's strong too, so that's actually a fair one to give them. Like Perfect House and Quilty Pleasures are really, really strong.
They are.
Classic Dave, I still like. Classic Dave! Oh, thank God, my kids are gone.
Okay.
I can say, as a hella jaded millennial who really didn't like that, like the regular show era on Cartoon Network, I came into this going, oh, it's an HBO exclusive, made by the same people who made a regular show. I'm probably not gonna like this, and I was pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't say it's like balls to the walls amazing, but then again, I grew up at like late '90s, early 2000s, where every single like cartoon was basically crack cocaine.
Yeah.
We got spoiled by our cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not expecting a whole lot, but enough good happened from this series that honestly, I'm gonna watch season 2.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, that's season 1 of Close Enough. Gross.
Would I say
Bring back the snail.
Would I say this was the perfect podcast episode, Batty? No. What would I rate this? I'd say we were close enough.
And
Close.
that's what we're gonna end it on. Bye.